regular meeting of the Downtown Development Authority Board. It is Tuesday, August 18th, 2026, and it is 6:35 p.m. Could we have a roll call and determination of quorum, please?
Chairperson Burgess,
Yes, here,
Vice Chair Caruso,
Here.
Secretary Laurent,
Here.
Board Member Campbell,
Here.
Board Member Coe,
Here.
Board Member Garris,
Here.
and Board Member Burnett.
Hello. Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 3, approval of minutes. A, approval of DDA regular meeting minutes of July 21st, 2026, page 3.
Move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting as of July 21st.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number 4, approval of agenda. Please note that we will be adding on a new and old business on item number 8, we're going to be adding E, F, G, H, I, and J. So E will be the textedly elite. F will be DDA action summary sheet. G will be DDA, the PEA Lumberyard Final PUD Engineering Invoice. H will be Lumberyard Web Vendor Portal. I will be payroll issue. And J will be Paint Creek Bank Stabilization.
Madam Chair, just for Lindsay's record keeping, the second item, I don't know what letter that corresponds to, is actually website repair. The topic was blank. So it's just website repair,
Item F, I think, right?
probably so. Yeah, but yeah, that one right there. Item F is website repair, would be a good topic for it.
Thank you.
So can we just say it, move to approve the agenda with the adjustments?
The additional.
Additional.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number 5, call to the public. The DDA welcomes comments related to the work and spirit of the DDA on non-agenda items. Each person wishing to address the DDA board shall be afforded an opportunity to do so. When recognized, please give your name and address and direct your comments to the chair. Comments on the agenda items may be allowed upon the calling of the item. Comments are limited to 3 minutes or is allowed by the board chair. Anyone like to speak? Please.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, how are you doing today? I'm Mark Amundson. I am the chief of police, but currently this week I'm the acting village manager until Monday. So I am here as my role as the acting village manager to give you an administrative update. And part of that is I reviewed the DDA agenda and I saw in Mr. Gibbs' executive report some dissolution, disincorporation updates. So I wanted to give the DDA board the latest update on the village dissolution process of what we know today, and then if you deem appropriate, if there was any potential questions I may or may not be able to answer, I'll be happy to do so. But as of August 14th of 2026, the Oakland County Executive Election Committee released their list of ballot proposal questions for the county. The Village of Lake Orion's disincorporation question was not on that list. So as of right now, it appears it will not be on the ballot, and Oakland County stopped it from going to the ballot or didn't allow it to proceed for some legal reasons. So I wanted to give an update because we are partners in this. This dissolution affects the DDA just as much as it would affect the village, I believe. So I want to make sure that if you guys had any questions, that we're communicating properly with the board and of course with Mr. Gibb and the DDA as well. So that's really the only reason I came, and I appreciate the early opportunity and the public comment so I can not stay the entire meeting. Did you have any questions, Madam
No, I do not.
President? All right, thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to item number 6, consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are approved by one vote. A, financial reports, page 11, and B, reimbursement as needed labor. And this will be a roll call.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Support.
Lindsay, roll call, please.
Board Member Barnett,
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess,
Yes.
Board Member Campbell,
Yes.
Vice Chair Caruso,
Yes.
Board Member Coe,
Yes.
Secretary Laurent,
Yes.
Board Member Garris.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 7, financial matters. A, bill approval, page 24, requesting roll call.
Move to approve the distributments in the amount of $63,704.98 for July of 2026.
Support.
Madam Chair, if I could have just one comment before the vote. Just a note for the record that there's a $13,000 expense for our Ella Live gazebo series. That's an annual recurring expense. It fluctuates in cost. This year, first year that I've been involved with your organization, we raised $12,500 in sponsorship. So there's like kind of $12,500 of revenue from sponsors directly tied to the event that would be reflected in the revenue line of sponsorship. So that goes into our general revenue line. It's not a revenue line specific to this event. We keep track of things, and then that revenue pulls into these budgeted line items. So this became a very cost-neutral event for us. And as you'll hear later, we're averaging about 500 people a concert right now. So it's been quite a productive event. But I wanted, from a budgetary cost expense, if the public looks, oh, they spent $13,000 to host contracts, and we paid for them with significant sponsorship.
So could you just give us a one line so we can go, woo, about that?
One line.
We spent 13, brought in 12.5. We spent $800 for the conference series.
We brought in $12,500 to pay for the concerts.
That's awesome. Yeah. Fabulous. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue with me.
It's okay.
That's great news.
That's awesome.
Was there a motion and a support?
I made a motion, and I think there's support. And we did
Yes, we're
roll
waiting on a roll call.
Okay. Board Member Garris,
Yes.
Secretary Laurent,
Yes.
Board Member Coe,
Yes.
Vice Chair Caruso,
Yes.
Board Member Campbell,
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess,
Yes,
and Board Member Barnett.
Yes.
Motion carries.
thank you. Moving on to item number 8, new and old business. A, interior market barn painting, page 31.
Madam Chair, this agenda item is fairly self-explanatory. We're moving to work on finishing the interior of the market barn. We were able to save substantially in the cost of fire suppression. As you all know, fire suppression was an additional cost that we conceded with the fire marshal on that. We had anticipated to be about $110,000. It came in around $74,000. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and finish the painting of the interior of the barn, which is needed anyway. It'll make a nice added feature. We did pull 3 quotes. They're pretty ranging. Rich Wessel from Wessel's Painting, who's the local quote, came in lowest. He is excited to be part of the project. He did great on the exterior. Our recommendation is to award it to Wessel's Painting.
I make a motion to accept the estimate from Wessel's Painting dated 7/28/26 and authorize the DDA director to procure the services and materials at a cost not to exceed $11,890 payable from 301-901-971-000 capital outlay building.
Support.
Roll call.
Board Member Campbell,
Yes.
Secretary Laurent,
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess,
Yes,
Board Member Barnett,
Yes.
Vice Chair Caruso,
Yes.
Board Member Coe,
Yes.
and Board Member Garris.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Madam Chair, before you pass to the next item, Wessel's Painting, the last time they were awarded a contract from this board, they weren't paid for several weeks. through the clerk's office. The direction, I presume, of the village manager had obstruction to that. So I'm just making a record. I don't think a subsequent motion from the DDA would be listened to or honored by that administrative part of our village. But just for the record, I'll be submitting affirmation of this motion with the estimate from Wessel's Painting on a purchase order requisition to get a check cut from the clerk's office on Tuesday. For the record, if this time we don't get a check cut on Tuesday, we're going to take a much different legal position with our clerk's office and our village manager. We cannot work with contractors in our local community to have them be excited about a project, to give us pricing that is of the competitive nature that it is, and then not get them paid for several weeks. So just so the board's aware and you're aware, if I don't get a check on Tuesday out of this process, then I'll be contacting Bob Davis, and he and I and Miller Canfield will be addressing this in a different way, just so you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pretty substantially low quote. That quote's pretty exceptionally nice. I mean, that's a really good quote. I mean, half the price of the other, almost of the others. So it's pretty good. And it's only fair to pay somebody at a timely basis if they're doing a good job and at a fair cost.
Yeah, the last one, we requested a check immediately following the June meeting, and he didn't get paid till August, mid-August.
Well, that's not even acceptable.
So it's really unacceptable practice. So you'll see a recurring theme in some of this tonight, Madam Chair. I just want to make a record of these things, and we'll have a discussion during my report.
Okay. Yes.
So this is an ongoing problem?
It's 2 years worth. It's
I
a
guess
battle
that's
of
ongoing.
this nature for 2 years. But anyway, on that agenda item.
Go ahead.
So I have a question. If our budget is approved by us and by the village, what would the holdup be in getting our expenses paid? Because that's unacceptable.
There's always a nuance to it. It didn't have the right signature, didn't have the right word. The village manager is on perpetual vacation. You can take any laundry list of it, Ms. Campbell, as to what it is. When objections or concerns are raised, it's very much the DDA office didn't do it correctly. We're going to submit your motion that says we award this contract for this amount payable from this budget line item in the bill run Thursday morning to be cut on Tuesday. And we hope it'll be cut. My anticipation is it won't. I'll be very honest with you. That there'll be some reason. It'll say estimate instead of invoice. It'll say something that's nonsensical under the law, but that's what's been happening.
Come on.
George Dandelitas, 226 Bellevue. We set up joint meetings between the DDA and the council some number of months ago. The last two meetings, so the July and the August meetings, were both canceled. Our next one is September 7th, I believe, and I know I've got it on my calendar, and I guess I would encourage the rest of us get it on our calendars so we don't cancel the September meeting. I was the one that proposed having those meetings, and what Matt is describing is exactly what I think we ought to be talking about in those meetings. So I would encourage, first of all, let's all get it on our calendars for September 7th. That's our next meeting. Make it a priority. And let's discuss this kind of thing so that we can knock down the roadblocks. As managers, that's our job. Let's knock down the roadblocks and figure out how to move forward.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Isn't the 17th Labor Day?
It's the 8th, it's Tuesday.
I think it's a Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah.
Tuesday at 4, I think.
Who's supposed to attend those meetings?
Committee.
Yeah,
Me,
it's Mr.
Matt.
Matt Gibb, myself, Dr. Sam.
And Hank's the alternate.
Yeah.
It's the 8th, yeah, it's Tuesday the 8th.
So I guess my question is, why does there need to be a meeting between the village and the DDA when we as a board have approved an expense that's in our budget, that's been approved, there shouldn't have to be a meeting
Right.
to get our expenses paid. Like, I think this is ridiculous and very frustrating because our staff and us, we have to spend our time on this.
And I'm not suggesting that the purpose of this meeting is to approve or not approve payments. The purpose of the meeting is to recognize that we have joint issues between the two organizations and get them on the table and get them fixed so that we don't have to spend time as two different organizations trying to get. I mean, to me, these are pretty routine kind of processes, right? And if they're not routine, then as managers, it's our job to make them routine. We have to deal with exceptions, but the routine kind of things need to be routine. And I think that's the whole point, is to identify where there are roadblocks and take care of them.
In my world, I'll just say in my world, if my bills aren't paid on time, it affects my credit rating. It affects my standing. So
Or they stop shipping you, right?
I'm just saying that
Right.
if we have people in our community working for us, they should be paid on time.
Absolutely.
Because we expect them to do the work on time.
Embarrassment.
Yeah, it is. Okay,
Cool.
we will
We'll
be
hit-
addressing
Good luck
this.
next. Yeah, it's good.
All right, moving on to number 8B, code compliance, demolition and cleanup.
Madam Chair, this is likewise another one, motion specific. We did get a preliminary code complaint from someone saying that the lumberyard was overgrown. It is interior of the fence. We've been awaiting, as we all know, plans which were submitted about 4 weeks ago now to move forward with the getting plan approval so that we didn't spend money cleaning up and brush hogging a lot that was going to get cleaned up and brush hogged when we do site work. Clearly, the process is going to go slower, as you'll hear later. And so I want to start working on some of the core things that we can do. The barbed wire fence that's behind Leo's that's rusted, quite frankly, it's dangerous, looks horrible. Let's get it tore out. It's going to get tore out anyway. There's a bunch of remaining concrete that's on the south side of the barn that's going to have to all get tore out. There's concrete piles. I want to bring K&D Phillips, who's been a very, very good and responsive contractor for us in demolition and site cleaning in the past. I don't want to waste the time to go get 3 quotes. I don't want to run around asking other people for how much would it be. I want Kevin to bring his guys in like he did before. He's undercut the price consistently. Everything he's done for us here too, $8,000, is a ridiculous low. He's probably just charging us disposal costs, to be honest with you. So my request is that we not waste the time on multiple quotes. I'd like to have a motion just essentially acknowledges that we're going to single source quote this within my authority to do so and get K&D Phillips in to clean up the site and remove that fencing. And so we clean the site up. It's very likely going to be, the project's going to be in this condition for some time from what I heard on my way in from the fire marshal and everybody else. So that's what's before you is I'm asking waiver of the 3-quote process and award a contract to K&D Phillips for $8,050.
Make a motion to approve the estimate for waste removal of 8,000, for the amount of $8,050. I'm not in the section where it talks about the proposal, I'm
Right
sorry.
here.
There we go, thank you. Make a motion to accept the estimate from K&D Phillips Contracting LLC dated 8/7/26 and authorize the DDA director to procure the services and materials at a cost not to exceed $8,050 payable from 301-901-971000 capital outlay buildings.
Support.
Now, do you need us also in that recommended motion to state that you do not have to get 3 quotes?
It would be preferable to create a record of that.
So then, as noted, then if the board prefers, so the board's not going to require 3 quotes, is that the way it's recorded for the process, to get the work done in a timely fashion, knowing that this contractor has given us good quotes in the past?
Still support.
That's a question.
Yes.
I support, but I just want to make sure, like, what other, do we have a list of the other things that need to be done out there? Like, clearly, not everyone in the community loves the work that we do, and not looking to give anyone any additional opportunities to poke at us. So I'm curious if there's like an overall picture. I don't have a good grasp on it personally, and that's probably because I'm not as in tune as a lot of you are into this stuff, but how many more of these types of things do we anticipate? This is coming to us from an ordinance violation perspective?
This is the last thing we'll do before we do site development under an approved PUD site plan. So there won't be more or additional cleanup work. The only other thing that might happen prior to full site development would be the moving of that old red coal shed that's kind of sitting there in the middle of the site. So this would be the last of the pre-site plan approval work that we would do there. And then from there, Supervisor, we do have a schedule that's developed that's being pushed out in various areas to get quotes for underground and storm and sanitary and everything else. And I can certainly complete that, kind of put that together. This is driven really by site cleanup. So as you approved in the consent agenda, I found 3 college kids to help me cut back because I was getting quoted $3,000 to $5,000 to cut back the brush. So this is really just an effort to say, let's just do the last of the cleanup. This is the last of the concrete, no more of it, everything will be removed. It's the last of the cleanup of the site, and then we would await site plan approval.
Okay.
So roll call?
Board Member Burnett,
Yes.
Board Member Garris,
Yes.
Secretary Laurent,
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess,
Yes.
Board Member Coe,
Yes.
Board Member Campbell,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Caruso.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item number C, Travel America in Bloom, page 41.
Madam Chair, the township has had unbelievable success with America in Bloom, and as you know, we've joined their organization as well and had a pretty fabulous interaction with them. Their symposium is in September. There's an opportunity for us to attend and participate, learn a little bit more whether we want to continue this long-term or not. It is a cost annually to be part of America in Bloom. This isn't a selfish thing, like I'm trying to travel. This is more, if you're inclined, that we have a representative there. It would either be me or it would be Ms. Woodrum. Right now, it'd be most likely me. It'd be about $1,500 if I went, as I would go to the first 2 days, and then I'm due at a family matter in Kentucky on that weekend. So we'd cheat some cost in the end, and I would get a flavor and a sense, and we'd be there for the awards night if we want to. We do have the money for it. We budget for education and training for staff. As I put in the memo, Main Street Now, within our budget years in Detroit in the spring. So we won't be flying on airplanes, and everybody will have an opportunity to come to that, and we have plenty of money for that. Between our awareness program, our volunteer budgeting, and our education and training, we're probably overfunded because Main Street is in Michigan this year. We don't have to go to it. So the money's there. If the board is inclined, they think it's a good purpose for a staff member to go and explore a little bit and learn a bit, that's what it's before.
I make a motion to approve Mr. Gibbs' attendance with the cost not to exceed $1,500 from GL 248-260-957-000 education and training.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Board Member Barnett,
Yes.
Secretary Laurent,
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess,
Yes.
Board Member Garris,
Yes.
Board Member Campbell,
Yes.
Vice Chair Caruso,
Yes.
and Board Member Coe.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And just, Mr. Gibb, for those who may be watching this evening, is Lake Orion, the downtown, are we going to be recipients? Do we know of any awards from the America in Bloom?
Well, we'd have to beat our partners at the township who seem to win an award every year. So we don't know. We've submitted our own award, kind of self-nominations, which they encourage. It's our understanding that the accrediting folks that came to town, that several of you met, likewise have submitted our name for a couple of awards as well. And so I think it's better than not that we would prevail in a category at the event, which would be nice. It's a national organization that recognizes, as Chris has explained many times, kind of the effort around being a cool place. I think that we've been nominated as the coolest downtown as part of the accreditors nominations, but we'll see, time will tell. So there's a possibility. They have symposiums and things. If you participated here, the township hosted it 2 years ago with great success. It was really great to interact with all of those people from around the country, because they look at things like, how's your public space and your alleyways and your integration, not just of flowers, it's American Bloom, but it's really the whole aesthetic of how do you create a real welcoming community. And so it's kind of worth a look.
Thank you. Moving on to item number D, renewal, See My Legacy, page 47.
Madam Chair, this is a discretionary ask, but I'll give you a reason why it's even on your agenda. So the board may recall in the time of our former assistant director, in an attempt to assist with sponsorship platform creation, I recommended we purchase an annual membership into See My Legacy. It didn't work, in part because our staffing situation didn't allow it to work. We didn't use the platform. So we're up for renewal of that. We could just let it lapse, which is fine, but there's a little thought to the process here. See My Legacy, for those that aren't familiar or watching, is a platform that they have staff that help build campaigns that can be essentially landing portals, meaning if we put together Witches Night and we have, say, 7 different levels of sponsorship and volunteer signups and different things, we can use See My Legacy as a tool that when those go out, they can say, click on this or scan this. It would take you right to the campaign page with all of these different things. You can click on the one that you want. It directs you. It's already built. They build it for us, so it's not your good director or our program manager trying to build all of this. They click in, they put their information in. It tallies spreadsheets automatically for us. It processes all the payments. It gives you, it's a nice tool. It's why I recommended it last year. It just wasn't used in the way that it was supposed to be used. I would like to give it another try. We do have the budget. The See My Legacy folks discounted at $500 to kind of sweeten, hey, give this another try, Matt, and really get engaged with it. I'll be very honest with you. If the board is more inclined to save a few dollars, it won't hurt my feelings. But I felt it is a good tool. I presented it to a couple of people in promotions that are on the Witches Night campaign, particularly Annalise Constantino from Boutique Chic. She immediately was like, why would you turn that down? You're going to spend more than $2,000 in your time creating the back-end platform to process all this stuff.
Right.
She's not wrong with it. And when I kind of heard that and I looked at it some more, I'm like, between what you'll hear Tracy's doing with the text program and what she's been doing with Sign Up Genius for volunteers and collecting payments for that, this is a nice companion tool. Where it fits in our budget is the two-headed staff that you've created here. We wouldn't have to push this as an outsource. So we're going to spend this money somewhere, and I know the program and I can work the program. So my recommendation is we do it, but this is one, if you tell me no, it won't hurt my feelings. That's what we're doing.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
That if this is approved, could you come back to the board and tell us that you're actually using it?
Well, I actually put in the recommended motion and directing staff to add a monthly report item to the DDA board agenda to track its use. So if you say moved on the recommended motion, then it'll become an agenda item that you would see firsthand how we're using it and implementing it.
I just needed to say that.
Yeah, that's a good thing to say.
Did you say that the SEMA Legacy software program, one of the developers, have put content on there for us? So is that stuff, there's on stuff there now for us?
There is, so Janet, before she left, tried to use it
Right.
somewhat last minute, and they populated a bunch of different things, notably Ice Fest. So it shows the potential of it all. It'll be really perfect for the lumberyard. This is, the original thought was building out a campaign that people can be a part of, because we're going to do railroad ties for that walk that kind of goes from downtown into the public market, and that's kind of our history area. It's perfect for something like that. So we have the bones of it there. They've added a new tool this year that they're offering, and they would not charge us for this, because if we're going to renew, they know that we're kind of a question mark of like, we didn't really use it, why would we do this again?
Right.
They can also create a full PDF printable publication of all of our campaigns for fall and winter. And so we'll be pushing hard on that. We've already started to really organize all of those fall and winter events. So if they want to give us something free that they design and pay for, and it's a nice printable, sendable, linkable publication, I mean, that alone would cost us $2,000 to outsource. So the whole package is worth it, subject to our chairs saying, make sure you report.
I'm trying to remember when we first approved it. Is there, I believe there was a way in the program to create like an impact report for our sponsors following an event or something they've sponsored. Because I know I brought this up when Molly was here. One of the hugest things, obviously, that you know, that we can do to retain our sponsors is to show them the ROI they got, right? And wow, we did great on the Gazebo Concert Series. That's incredible. So we want to keep those sponsors. I know one of them for sure was new this year.
Yeah.
Flip Spot, I know, is returning. And they're pretty happy. But I know, the newer one who maybe contributed more,
Well,
like we need,
Yeah,
does it have that?
Independent Bank is our, Independent Bank sponsored $7,500 for the concert series. They don't have a location in Orion. They're so intrigued about how they leverage into what we're doing at Lumberyard and next steps of all of this, that they wanted to sponsor this series so that and it's written right in their agreement, that they would be given a first consideration to be a presenting sponsor of the market. And they're not here. So we do have that potential.
But the program
Tracy's
can
been-
help with that.
When she bought clickers at Amazon for $6, I'm like, what are you doing? And now they click every person that walks into those concerts and all that. So we've got really good attendance numbers now, which is important, because before it was estimated, right? We did the interns. The interns have been tracking things from a social standpoint, and we're able to track that, all the impression data from that. So yes, the answer is
This
yes.
program
And
can
this
help.
program can help with that. And most importantly, it can build it into a easier report than her and I spending a week trying to put it together. We dump the data in. There's a back house staff that we're paying for through this 2000, and they do it.
It's got great potential.
So we need a motion. I make a motion to approve renewal of the membership with CMI Legacy at the offered reduced rate of $1,999 annual, with funding from GL 248-729-880-015, winter activities, and directing staff to add a monthly report item to the DDA board agenda to track its use.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Secretary Laurent,
Yes.
Board Member Campbell,
Yes.
Board Member Barnett,
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess,
Yes.
Vice Chair Caruso,
Yes, these are great.
Board Member Coe,
Yes.
and Board Member Garris.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to now the added items. So number E, or on your paper, it would say item number 1, Textedly Elite Annual Plan.
Madam Chair, board should be aware that Tracy and I caught an unauthorized charge on our credit card. And because of that, we've ordered a new card. Has nothing to do with this, but it does have to do something that impacts us quite greatly. We are now going through all of our recurring monthly subscriptions for things like ClickUp, which is a project management tool that was used heavily by Molly, that we have a different system, a different method. It's $54 a month. Flow code for QR codes, technology is now advanced. I can build QR codes for free in about 8 different programs. We're spending $9.99 a month. We're going through to vet all of that, get rid of all the waste. One of the things that we really want to attack, though, is communication. So I'd like Tracy to speak on this. She's been working on the Textedly program with Brian Winter, and she can give you a quick update as to what it is and why we're recommending it.
All right, good evening. So we got a lot of feedback from business owners, volunteers. A lot of people are not getting our emails, which that's then the next item. Matt will talk about the website, which kind of talks about a new system for that. But in addition, we did get a lot of requests for text messages. So being able to send some quick messages, maybe sending a link for our volunteers to a sign-up genius. Here are all the volunteer opportunities for a month. So something that is pushed out comes directly to their phone and they get that information. So we did research. There's a lot of different plans out there. They're all generally around the same price, but Textedly is more of an enterprise solution where we can have as many contacts in the system. We're not charged per contact. We're just charged per message that we send out. So if we send a message to 100 people, that counts as 100 messages. So you'll see that the plan that we're looking at, we can send 6,000 messages a month. That means 6,000 devices can receive a message from us per month. It does go based on number of characters, so if we make a longer message, it'll count as more than one message, but we can work with that to keep within the parameters and keep the cost down for that. This will not replace email. This is just another way to get messages out. If we commit for a year, we don't pay for a year up front. We still pay monthly. It's just under $180 a month. But we will get some bonuses. You'll see those bonus messages that are listed. We have to use the 6,000 messages within each month, which we should have no problem doing. But we can get these bonus messages, which are not time sensitive, so they can sit there. So if during a time where we have a big event or we need to put an extra push out, we can draw from that bank of extra messages and send those out by committing for a year to this program. So there's also, it lists on here a CRM of access, so we can keep a list of all of our contacts, have their names, businesses, how they volunteer, contact information. We don't have anything like that right now that houses everything. It's Matt's email or my email, we're recreating lists. So this way we can have something that's housed centrally. So,
Thank you.
any questions?
Makes sense.
All right.
The big consensus when we say, how do you want to get contacted? Like if I ask Mr. Garris, how do I best get in touch with you? You say, text me. That's the consensus of everybody. But the limitations of Apple or Google for text capacity and the fact if anybody would want to do it, of creating these bigger lists of communication are prohibited. This is the tool that bypasses that. So we're going to clean up the rest of it. We're going to spend more money on this than we're probably going to clean up, but we're fine budget-wise for this type of software. So it'll be a good tool. Oh, I should add, hold on, sorry.
No problem.
We did get a $10,000 tech grant from Main Street Oakland County. We talked about that at our last meeting. This is one of the items that was submitted to Oakland County, utilizing technology to enhance communication. So all of this expense is covered, not by TIF or any other revenue. It's covered by the fact that we went out and got $10,000 more in grant money. So this is not a grant-funded activity. It's an activity approved by Oakland County Main Street as part of our overall tech grant for 2026. So it's a covered expense. It's one of the selected little targets that Tracy and I worked on. So I guess that's a very important point, that this isn't like an added grab from the TIF. This is a grant expected thing that we're trying to find these tools.
Is this 10 grand then in this fund, this GL fund, is that grant?
Now, again, it's the same thing that we talked about earlier, that those funds go into general revenue funds, and then we use those revenue funds to cover a variety of different areas, so we can spend in a more targeted. This one, because it is a little bit more of a base contracted service, because of the interaction, we'll pay it out of economic development contracted services, because that's the nature of it.
What was the cost again, monthly?
The cost right now, because we haven't given them our tax exempt number, is $177 a month. So it's like 2,124, something like that, for a year. The key to it is, to me, is the CRM system, but the 25,000 bonus messages. So when we get to something that is like Sing and Stroll or one of our bigger events, if we decide, hey, we need to drop a huge text hit to really solidify something, or Ice Fest, something like that, we'd have the capacity to do it. It's a nice tool.
Motion to authorize enrollment in Textly Elite at a cost not to exceed $2,124 payable from GL 248-260-958-000, either in an annual payment or monthly installments not to exceed $177 per month.
Support.
Roll call?
Board Member Barnett,
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess,
Yes.
Board Member Garris,
Yes.
Board Member Campbell,
Yes.
Secretary Laurent,
Yes.
Board Member Coe,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Caruso.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're moving on to item number F. That would be your item number 2, website repair.
Madam Chair, this one's quicker. I'll go quicker with these. Brian Winter, who's one of our key volunteers and also spends a significant amount of in-kind service, has recommended Web Vitality, which is a firm him and his wife use for their SOAR Learning, which is a huge web presence. A very, very good firm to help us finish cleaning the back end of the website. So if you haven't been to our website lately as a board, public, whomever, the website's getting pretty good right now. There's been a lot of cleanup. I'll take like a big pat on my own back for that. But I'm kind of getting at the limit of my ability as a website professional. But it does look cool. We've had calendaring. We've got clickable event calendaring now. We can use tinyURL to send stuff out, to promote certain things from the website. It's great, but it's not sized correctly for mobile phones. And our forms, no matter how much I try, our forms send emails to the hyper cyber world. I just can't fix it. We've been wanting to do the back-end cleanup of this for a couple of years. Oakland County suggested that we include this and go after technology and communication as our tech grant. This is another one of those itemized things that we gave to Tim Colbeck at the county, saying, we want to clean up the back end of the website, we want to do text, we want to do these things. This is another one of those. So Web Vitality has proposed $1,050 to do a back-end review and tell us what we need to do. I've asked for $1,500 on this just because there's also an hourly rate that we can engage with them for a little bit of extra time to go beyond just a here's what's wrong report, have more of a strategic plan for the next step of it. This would likely put us in a position that, for now, I could still work with them and kind of take over the finish of this, but there'll likely be another cost in the next month, small, $1,000 or so, to pay them to clean certain things up that I can't do. So this is the first step, review, clean. When we get through this, and one final step, for the first time since I've worked with you, we're gonna have a really nice functioning website that we haven't had in a long time. So that's what it is.
How much money do we have in this contractual services account still of the 12,000? I mean, do we have that all budgeted?
We
I'm
haven't
not
used.
opposed to this, I just see us just keep adding stuff, and I'm just trying to make sure that it's...
Yeah, I agree. It's not like me to spend money like this, but this is the beginning of our fiscal year, so we're only in the second month of that. We haven't touched that line item yet. Last year, we ended the year, we budgeted $12,000 last year. We ended the year with about $3,600 still in the account because we go to it for these types of things. It's not a dedicated contract stream. It's more of these one-off contracts that we do that help build that effort. So I'm pretty confident, Supervisor, that we'll probably end the year in a similar fashion. This is one of those expenses.
Plus, this will be paid for by that grant. We talked about the tech
It
grant.
is, yeah. I mean, understand with the grant, I mean, this is, you know, the grant, even though it's earmarked for these things, like in our heads, it really is going into our general overall revenue. Because remember, we balanced the budget, even though we got really close, we still said, if we spend every dollar on everything, we'll still be $16,000 short. So it goes into a general revenue. I don't want the public to look at it and say, oh, listen, you know, they don't have enough money. We do, but last year we carried over a substantial amount of non-expended funds. So that goes into a general revenue, and then we know kind of behind our head that we brought in 10 grand to do these things, so we should be pretty revenue neutral with this.
And one more question for me. What's the, I don't see it on this thing, proposal. What's the extra 1,000 next month maybe, that you said?
Well, this is for the, they're gonna go into the back end of the site and say, here's all the stuff that's broken. We're gonna itemize all the pages that we think are obsolete, and then they're gonna clean obsolete and then recommend, okay, here's what needs to get fixed. And while doing some of that, some of the stuff's gonna get fixed anyway. But there's gonna be a hangover, and I'm sure, Supervisor, it's really gonna be in two areas. One is the firewall that, because we're part of the village email system, the VC3 system, because our server is attached to sensitive public records, like in your office, that firewall is preventing us from doing form submission work through our website. This is where that's gonna come in. He's already estimated it's probably gonna be 2 or 3 hours worth of work for them to correct that. But I wanted them to look at it first. They think it might even be correctable because of the fact that our website right now has been patchworked. So we have 3 different forms programs all operating in the back end of our website, which means nothing should be working, like nothing should be working. So they're gonna identify that and clean it up. So sorry, long-winded answer, but that's.
It was $500 extra.
I mean, it says we're getting that though in this phase. It
Yeah.
says we're getting form repair consolidation, and so, I don't know. I just get nervous about, I mean, I just read this for the first time just now. I support it, but I don't support more than this right now, personally.
Right. Yeah, I think it was $1,050 for the actual assessment, and then $525 extra of expenses. That makes it.
No, 525 only if they can't fix stuff. They do the assessment, and they only charge 525 if they can't fix it. If they fix things, they do items 1 through 6, which is environment setup, plug-in audit, safe cleanup, form repair and consolidation, which Matt just talked about, site health, performance, that's all included in the 1,050.
Oh, I see.
They don't, if they find out the site is too broke, they stop and they only charge us the 525, right? Yeah,
That's the way it's structured.
yeah. So we're on the hook no matter what for 525, but the way I'm reading this is they're fixing everything for 1,050.
So hold up. So it says the engagement is a fixed 1,050 fee and includes a written assessment and recommendations for future maintenance. If the consultant determines that the existing website is not reasonably repairable, work will stop and the fee will be reduced by $525 rather than incurring additional expense.
Yeah, it's different. I'll make a motion. Do we already have a motion?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Because that's a little different than the proposal says. So I move to approve the engagement with Web Vitality at a cost not to exceed $1,050. And I don't think I need the second part. I mean, basically well, let me just finish my motion and then I'll make a comment. Not to exceed $1,050. So we're approving just this contract that's in front of us, out of GL 248-728-801-000 contracted services.
Did you say the amount not to exceed 1,050?
Yeah, that's what the contract says.
Thank you.
Support.
The motion, the proposed motion.
I made a different motion because the memo is not accurate.
Support.
And my comment is just, I mean, I know we're moving fast, but, it's hard getting 6 things on site. But I'm nervous about just every, extra 1,500. I think we need to do this, but I don't want to just say, the contract's asking for $1,500 $50, 1050, and they're doing all those things. Doesn't say they need to do more, and if they can't, the total is reduced by $525. So we're gonna pay $525 or $1,050.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It does say flat project fee for engagement based on the estimate, blah, 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 billed as a single fixed fee. Web Vitality will not exceed $1,225 without prior written approval.
Madam Chair, through the chair, 1,050 is fine. The only reason I say that there could be an additional charge, if we find something that is significant that would allow us to do something more, I hate coming back on a surprise, oh, you told us this was going to be all done. So 1,050 is totally fine for what we're doing.
Can you just remind us the amount of the grant money that we got and what that money can be purposed for?
So the Main Street Oakland County provides an annual technology grant, or tech grant as they call it, up to $10,000. In the past, the DDA has used it for exploring nonprofit status. They've used it for a variety of different things. The county reviews those. It's not just tech like technology, it's kind of how do you advance the program more strongly. In this case, and speaking to Tim Colback, all of you know, saying, Tim, we have a series of things that are communication and tech related. Our website is a mess. Nobody gets our emails. He and I and Eric Phillips, who's our rep, and John Bry, who's the coordinator of the program, said, Matt, we can help you. Let's spend it. Why don't you spend it all on fixing that stuff? So the decision was made internally this year to utilize the $10,000 from Oakland County to address these technology related questions. So this is one of them.
So to date, how much of that grant money have we spent?
2,300? Just under 2,300.
Just under 2,300, so we have approximately 7,000 or,
7,700.
yes. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
I understand that. I don't support spending more money than a proposal that's right in front of us that we just got.
I agree.
I'm not,
Yeah,
I'm not challenging what you said, I just wanted to know how much we have used thus far, because it's helpful for me to keep track.
Just as a comment, part of the reason this is even here is you all have already acknowledged receipt of the tech grant 2 meetings ago in the general minutes of what we're doing, which for the first 2 years of my being in this seat, I processed things and submitted requests through the clerk's office to have them paid. But I'm a little skittish now because the clerk's office isn't paying payroll, they're not paying estimates. I don't know what the heck is going on up here at this village. And so I thought, I'm just going to bring all these items. There's about 8 more on my desk that are like this because I guess I have to get a very worded motion from it. Not that I don't trust all of you, but part of the reason this is here is I don't believe that they'll process the check for me unless I get a motion that says, yes, Matt can spend this much money. It's like kindergarten. So that's kind of why this is here. But it is very important that we go through this discourse because we are spending the money. And whether it's ours or the county's, it's taxpayer money. And we should be going through the discourse for it. But
And here's the thing, we made a commitment for transparency. And so this is just what we're doing. This is just a part of the process. And we need everyone's input. And the reason that we're all here, we possess different strengths. So I welcome, any kind of comment. So we're good. So one more time, Mr. Barnett, do you mind just?
I move to approve the contract in the amount of $1,050 that is in the contract.
Yep.
I supported it.
And you supported it? And then roll call, please.
Board Member Garris.
Yes.
Board Member Burnett.
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess.
Yes.
Secretary Laurent.
Yes.
Board Member Coe.
Yes.
Vice Chair Caruso.
Yes.
And Board Member Campbell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item number G, or your packet, it should say item number 3, PEA Lumberyard Final PUD Engineering Invoice.
in the motion are the 2 invoice numbers for $12,422.50. That's the final cost for our, right now, final PUD engineered plan that's been submitted to the village. So I just need a motion to get it paid.
Motion to authorize payment of invoices 120374 and invoice 121889 at a cost not to exceed $12,422.50 payable from GL 301-901-971-000 capital outlay buildings.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Board Member Barnett,
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess,
Yes.
Board Member Campbell,
Yes.
Vice Chair Caruso,
Yes.
Board Member Coe,
Yes.
Secretary Laurent,
Yes.
and Board Member Garris.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item number H or number 4, Lumberyard Web Vendor Portal.
Madam Chair, this is another that both of these expenditures fall within my spending authority, but I wanted to get a motion tonight. We engaged Trailforge, sorry, I had to look again, to assist. She's a very strategic part of our Illuminators program, volunteers in a lot of ways. She also has a local company called Trailforge to build the base of a website that would start to create the branding and the vendor portal for the market. We have to start working that this fall if we're going to open it in the spring. So there's 2 invoices that she submitted. One is for the creation of the web and vendor portal, which she's already been working on. And the second is, once it's developed, hourly rate to continue being, you were involved with one of our strategic meetings, to bring a kind of a first preliminary go. At that point, it would come to what we'll talk about later, a more strategic committee approach to how we use it. This is to get her paid on the 2 items that she submitted to get this started.
Is this I know there's a $500 retainer. Is that just, are we just doing that one time, or is that going to be every month?
No, it's just one time.
Was there a project proposal submitted by Trailforge? Like, I'm just curious about the $500 for fractional impact and communication strategist retainer. Or, you know, how many, the website build, how many pages will be on this website? What type of capabilities will it have, or
We
she didn't submit a proposal?
And I didn't go to that detail. When
Okay.
she said that I could build out the, I want to say right now it's about 8 pages, but when she said that I could build and get the branding and the identity going to give us a platform to work from for $900 and then $500 to meet repeatedly throughout the month of August, you know,
Okay.
we were spending $20,000 a year for firms that did nothing for us, so, before, so yeah, I just took it, so.
Okay.
Will this connect to the website we're fixing? Is this a different new website?
Given if the dissolution question is indeed off the ballot and the DDA doesn't have that at risk, then this would be linked to them. The goal is as we've recommended before, to seek to operate the market aspect, the barn and the trailhead and the market areas like they do Eastern Market, which is funneled through a nonprofit organization. So even though the city of Detroit is involved with Eastern Market, it's controlled by its nonprofits. And so we're building the same model here. So eventually it would be independent. For right now, it would be linked between the 2.
We don't have authority over that, though, right? Like, that's something that's going to be separate. This board doesn't even get to vote on, I don't think, right?
In the long term?
Or have a budget authority? I mean, I don't understand it, I guess, but my impression is that if we do that, it's totally separate from the DDA.
Long term, and none of it's been solidified, it's been in concept, but long term, the idea of creating a nonprofit creates long-term sustainability for the public market and its basis in the event that the DDA get sunsetted or attacked or the things that we go through on a monthly basis. So it's a defense mechanism, but right now none of it's been done. The website right now is built up, so it'll have its own URL, but it'll be a DDA-owned website right now. And Madam Chair, being frank about it, the decision to spend these monies, you've already adopted that spending policy. Again, and the continual nature of being locked out of the village, I just was hoping to get a motion that would confirm that these are reasonable expenditures for the scale of what we're doing to get us started. That's all.
Well, I'll make a motion to authorize payment of invoices 0065 and 0066 at a cost not to exceed $1,400, payable from GL 248-726-980-001, Public Space Grant General.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Board Member Garris.
Yes.
Board Member Barnett.
Yes.
Chairperson Burgess.
Yes.
Board Member Campbell.
Yes.
Vice Chair Caruso.
Yes.
Board Member Coe.
Yes.
And Secretary Laurent.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item number I, which would be your number 5, payroll issue for Tracy Woodrum.
Madam Chair, this is informational at this point, unless the board would recommend moving further. So, previous meeting, Tracy's employment was considered based upon my reflection of the quality of work that she's doing, and the fact that we're actually bringing all this stuff to you that for 2 years we didn't because it wasn't getting done. And I've authorized her to work additional hours as we transition into this, particularly as we get ready for the fall. So I've directed and authorized that, recognizing that the pots of money that we've built into our staffing are sufficient enough because we've delayed the hiring of the marketing position that we budgeted for, as well as pursuing a permanent part-time maintenance person. So as we delay that, we're banking dollars that we can use towards Tracy helping get things up to speed. And so she's worked more than the 70 hours that we put on as a cap on the position on my direction. So there's ways that that can be handled. You can admonish me, lots of things. The way it can't be handled is the village clerk's office can't decide not to pay her. It's a violation of law. It's punishable by a misdemeanor if it's found to be in gross intent. In this case, it very well could be gross intent. In any event, it's a violation of both state and federal law. The village attorney agrees with me, but nobody in the village talks to the village attorney. So how would they ever get an opinion? The village manager is on vacation for extended periods of time, or he's got a family issue, something, I don't know. But in the meantime, Ms. Woodrum submitted the timesheet. The explanation is that when I was at my daughter's graduation, I didn't sign the timesheet, so they couldn't pay it, because I didn't sign it. We've had a regular practice of me submitting an email saying that I've reviewed the time of staff at the DDA and approved the submission of time, so we bypassed this whole formality of me having to print sheets and sign them and send them in. Nobody's complained till now. Now she's not been paid. She still, as of right now, has not been paid for the hours that she worked on behalf of the DDA. The law is very, very clear that she was given direction to work those hours. The direct supervised administration approved that she had worked those hours, and you can't unilaterally decide you don't like how Matt Gibb managed the place by withholding payment. Michigan would consider that a violation, very substantial violation of the Wage Enforcement Act. So I guess this is informational. We've been told that she will maybe get paid in the payroll cycle next time. Either way, it's a violation of state law, and quite frankly, it's abhorrently bad that they would do this. If they don't like me, if they don't like the way I do things, that's fine. The procedure is to contact Madam Chair and say the DDA board needs to take action against the management practices of its director because he's authorizing time in excess of what the projected contract time of the board is. To withhold pay is either imbecilic or intentional. I'm hoping it's imbecilic, because if it's intentional, it should be referred to Chief Edmondson and a police report should be issued. So this is for informational purposes. At this point, we will not be submitting anything else. The next pay cycle is Tuesday. If she's not paid, then I'll be contacting the sheriff's office at the township, and we'll be filing police reports. So the action on this would be to receive and file.
Motion to receive and file.
Support.
All in favor?
Question.
Oh, I'm
I'd
sorry.
like to, so clearly, there's a breakdown in communication between the village manager and the DDA. What about the interim village manager? What does he say?
He doesn't have the authority.
He does this week.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I read it in the Lake Run Review. He's the village manager. I mean, I don't know. I just, the time that we're spending on this stuff is wild and a waste. People should be irritated with it. You know, and then they're going to shine the light on the fact that we authorized 70 hours and the first pay is 95. So, you know, the fiscal hat is, do we anticipate a lot of, you know, more than 70 hours going forward for Ms. Woodrum? I'm not questioning her efforts, the value, but I can already hear the response. So I'm just curious if that's something that's going to go on. And then how do we bring this to a head? We got a council member here. So I guess the first question is 70 hours not enough? Because if that's going to be ongoing, then we should address that tonight, change it, or see if the board agrees. Because that's a problem, I think, long-term.
Yeah.
I mean, we just lost both our millages. Everyone is scrutinizing everything we do. It's never happened in the history of Orion Township. So we have to be able to answer these questions. And now that we talked about it in a public meeting, Jim Newell's probably going to write about it in the newspaper. And they should, because everything we do is transparent. But my main question right now is, how the hell do we get this stuff to not come to our board agenda? And B, do we need to authorize more hours? Because if it happens the next pay period, you can guarantee we're going to get scrutinized. So do we need more hours is the first question.
We do. There has to be a decision made. I think, Supervisor, that the amount of time that's incurred for the expectation of what's deliverable from staff in this organization can't be met in the current structure. So I had thought in our former structure that the assistant director position simply didn't appropriately apply time, and that was true. But now that we have someone that is appropriately applying time, of fixing communication, those types of things, I don't know how do you do it? So we can cut out things like our movie nights and our concerts and not have any evening time? And you say, well, let volunteers do that? Well, they don't. So the answer is if it's the two of us, whether it's me and her and someone else, or me and someone else, it's just time. I mean, it's just time.
Please.
So is this a short-term issue or a long-term issue?
I think, Mr. Laurent, that the elephant in the room is the only way to do this job in these level of positions is to be on salary, so you're not tracking hours, because it flexes so much. So I can direct that Tracy's limited to 35. She's worked about 44 hours last week. So that means that she would need to get cut down to about 26 hours, which means today would be, you know, we're already inching towards, she could work a little bit tomorrow and that's it. And that could be the direction of the board. I mean, she's heard from me today that if we're doing this correctly, which right now we are, we weren't last year, but right now we're doing this work correctly, just the two of us. It just takes 50, 60 hours each a week. It just does. I mean, there's no way around it. You can't schedule everything, and now we've got things that are going to happen Monday that are extremely important to this community, and all that's got to get planned. All that's got to get worked on. The communication's got to go out. And then we've got biker events that are happening, and M1, or the Sick Pizza race cars or events are happening right at the same time that tomorrow we're expecting maybe upwards of 1,000 people downtown for an Ella Live concert. It's like it's two of us. So do we need more hours? Yeah, we do need more hours. Do we take the political hit to say, oh, they argued this big budget thing of they got rid of this high-priced position and now they're going right back to it? We might have to do that. I mean, it's pick your poison. I hate to say it, it's pick your poison. The attempt to do it with two highly paid positions and very capable people with administration is too expensive. Can two people that are really high functioning together pull this off? Yeah. If I had a recommendation, my recommendation is that we probably need to immediately form a committee or just have the executive committee meet. I don't know where Matt Shell is, but, and really address whether we just want to go back to a two highly paid, effective management structure, which I've been against now for a while. You know that, Madam Chair. But right now, this duo is working very, very well, and we're pulling it off, and that's why we're having next Monday. That's why AAB is going to honor it. That's why all these things are happening that didn't happen before. So the only way this works with her, we got to put her on salary, and the question is how much. So we can't do that tonight, but that's the elephant in the room.
I think we should take your recommendation then and form a committee to address this immediately. I have wondered, honestly, for the last 4 or 5 months, how the two of you are doing everything. And I do know how you're doing it. You're working on Saturday and Sunday on DDA stuff. You're working more hours than, were approved. Because honestly, think about it. Our DDA had 3 people typically. We had an admin person, we had a director, we had an admin person, and we had an events person. Events are unbelievable. I know how much work they take to pull off, and I know what the calendar is that we have. And so I agree. We've got to have more staff time, and we've got to not burn the two of you out in the meantime either.
Before I joined the organization, it's just what I'm told from former directors, one of the things that's adding to all of this is we do all of the administration now. So we review the bills, we put them in the BSNA system, we generate printed POs, we scan copies of things, we create records. For God's sakes, we're the FOIA people now. We now, I don't know how this changed, we now do all of that. That was never before. DDA never did that work. It was always, we had a contractual relationship for services through the village of Lake Orion, and there was these other aspects to it. I'll give you an example of it. So apparently the Home Depot account for the village that they were really insisting that I use because I was paying taxes when I went to Home Depot. Okay, I get that. We shouldn't be paying taxes. So somehow the garbage bags, so I guess the public can be transparent on this too. You know how we have garbage bags downtown and all our garbage cans? The DDA has to buy them, has to pay for them. Otherwise, we wouldn't have garbage bags. So $39 got missed in February, so it didn't get paid. The Home Depot account is suspended. So instead of just go ahead and just pay the $39 to Home Depot or call me and say, hey, Matt, listen, we got to figure out how we do this. There's been this whole big back and forth to the point that Tracy got yelled at across the counter because remember, we're not allowed in the offices here. So she got basically yelled at today across the counter that this wasn't getting done. You needed to go back to your office and input the PO for $39 from February. So we're doing all of that. And when you add that in, to answer the question of do you have enough hours? No, we don't have enough hours.
What's the line item budget for administrative services? 70?
No, it's higher than that now. It's, I don't know, we just paid our portion of the tax bill from the township because We pay under the statute an admin fee for the collection and management of taxes, according to our attorney, but we also pay the bill for the collection of the taxes. So when we add all of those things in, we're close to probably 92,000.
So we're paying them for a full-time person. If it's 70 or more,
But don't get off on that tangent.
Okay.
The tangent is, from a staffing standpoint, is you needed to be aware, and the public needed to be aware, that you can't play these games. You can't, whether I authorize the time or not, you can't play the game of not paying somebody. That's egregious. It's horrible. So we've received and filed that. But we do need to efficiently, and I mean immediately, solve the question of what are we going to do here. I'm immensely satisfied with her work. It is a 180-degree difference from what we had before, and we have to do something. So, Madam Chair, either now or at some point in this meeting, to direct either the executive committee or a quickly formed committee to meet within the next 7 days or so, and we can call a special meeting if we have to. Because right now, Supervisor, she's trending over again. So,
Yeah, listen,
You know.
I mean, I brought it up, but I'll just say, I mean, I don't have to, I don't think most of us know everything that you do, besides probably Deb, maybe Dr. Sam. But we made this change based on a recommendation. So, I'm just looking at it from the perspective of everything anybody does in government right now is under a microscope. And that was made so crystal clear 2 Tuesdays ago, and not just in Orion Township. And we have done virtually nothing in the last 2 weeks except get scrutinized for everything we do. DDA is not going to be exempt from that. We made this decision. There's no question that you and Tracy are doing a phenomenal job, in my opinion. But if it's going to be overtime every pay, we just voted on this one meeting ago, 70 hours. We had discussion about the health care. So I'm not qualified to do it, but I don't even know if we need a motion. The officers can meet with you, or if you want to have a motion to put a committee together, but to come up with a recommendation. So there's 2 issues. There's that, and I'm not saying I don't support it. I just think that if we continue to have these things almost every meeting come up and new things, it's going to be hard for us to continue to deal with the public scrutiny. The second piece is, and then I will shut up. I don't understand how, I appreciate you bringing it to our attention, but this isn't a new issue without not getting support from the manager and or staff, and that needs to be addressed by the village council, I think. They're certainly under scrutiny right now too, so I'll shut up.
Did you ask this?
well, I think one thing that maybe is a little bit different with this is we do have a set budget, and we would have to work within that budget. Like, we're not asking taxpayers for additional money to fund additional staff hours. We would have to find it within our own budget to support that. So, I think that is one difference to think about.
So the politically smart thing to do, and the supervisor is correctly pointing it out, is to have you say to your director, we just took action to limit this to 70 hours. She's limited to 70 hours. And my pushback would be, then the executive committee has to meet within 7 days to address how we're going to functionally get the expected workload done in that regard. And it might be that she's limited at 70 hours, and I've got to go find administrative support. We're going to spend the money either way, but Madam Chair, the smart thing to do, if there were a motion, to direct the executive director to follow the action from the August, or from the July meeting. And until such time as there's a change made that she's capped at the 70 hours, which she's going to stab me in the back for, because she knows how hard we're working. That's the politically expedient thing to do. Right now in this pay period, she's under the 70. She can cap out at 70 hours. It's a difficult thing because it has all of these moving features. That's the politically smart thing to do. But my pushback is it's a big elephant in the room at this point. And I'm taking too much time on staffing issues over the last 2 years. And I am not going to do it for much longer.
Well, maybe that's not a director, maybe that's a chair of the, I don't want to put it on you, but maybe that's the officers in a meeting of village council member, manager. I mean, someone needs to,
Maybe it's,
Debbie, you and I've been on this board for 14 years, you have for 20-ish, more. This is Groundhog Day. This part of it is. We shouldn't have to ever fight City Hall, we should be working together, so that's frustrating.
So,
But I don't think we need to talk about this here.
Correct.
I think I brought up the issue because it just was handed to us. But, I think this is something the chair, or the officers, a small committee could meet with the director and come to the next meeting and say, this is what we need to make 2 salary positions, we need an additional admin, because otherwise we can't just keep going like this. Take the not getting paid out of the issue, which I totally is egregious, but it's gonna look bad on our board,
Well, we're wasting too much time on something we keep going around and around on.
so let me say this. We made the decision before because we found ourselves in a position financially that we were concerned that we would be short, right? But we also were in a position where, I legally can't say that, never mind. I can't say that. So can we just say, somebody make a motion that the executive team will meet within 6 days, and we will discuss this, and we will come back with a resolution? Can we say that? Okay,
There was a motion,
Yeah, with a motion to receive and file.
First.
Do this first.
thank you for the
Just say all in
question.
favor, I stopped for the comment.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
motion number 2.
Now, motion number 2.
I make a motion that the executive team, which we'll discuss, will discuss these issues of, you said the motion over again. You had it perfect. I got 18 things in my head right now, thinking.
Okay. So I make a motion, or he makes the motion that the executive team will meet within 6 days to discuss and come with a resolution
That's what I want to say.
on how we're going to handle the lack of,
Workload payroll.
thank you.
That's what I wanted to say.
support.
So we have a support? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So we still are going to have to talk to you and
Yep,
address, because coming up this week is,
the big,
I can't say that either. Okay,
Big event. big
yeah,
events,
I'm in trouble tonight. Let me just
multiple events.
move on.
Okay, next.
It's a lot on the calendar.
Okay, yes, a lot on the calendar. Thank you for saving me for that. J, item number 6, Pink Creek Bank Stabilization.
Madam Chair, this is the last add-on for the night. It's only time sensitive because Ms. Campbell and I have discussed this at length. In your little packet that you got tonight, not for you to absorb all of this, it's really a topical question for us to refer. I wanted you to be aware of it so that there could be some input from the board. So Caleb Campbell is educated and experienced in looking at the bank and the growth in the trees, and he and his erstwhile partner in crime up there, Ms. Campbell, have done things like mulching around trees that are damaged and things in the park. He's put together a little bit of a proposal and has contacted Eagle on what it would take to do some basic bank stabilization. We have one area on the creek right now that I think by next spring will wash out part of the Meeks Park Trail, which will close the trail. And knowing that there's not really a capable resource that's going to rebuild that anytime soon, it'd be better to try to do something proactive. So in your packet is just Caleb's report. I would ask for any input the board would have, and then that this would get really referred to Ms. Campbell and I and anyone else that would want to participate in working with Caleb and Eagle and the team of what we could do there. I think long-term, this is an excellent recommendation for 7525. It's a key infrastructure. The creek is washing out on a very, very well-traversed trail within the downtown. It's just a viable thing. So it's here tonight so we can get the process moving, and so that you're aware that we've got this great resource. And Caleb right now, even though he's proposed some things, isn't asking for a ton of money. Actually, he's asking for zero right now. And so this is not a cost at this point, but there would be long-term if we came up with solutions. So that's why it's before you tonight, just so that it didn't languish and it's just Elena and I figuring it out. And she probably has a comment too on it.
I just wanted to say that I had a conversation earlier with Rosemary and Parks and Rec, and I know she's indicated that she's going to place it on their agenda, and hopefully Caleb will be able to go to their committee meeting and present his report and give them an update on who he's already contacted. There is a plan that the Clinton River Watershed developed for the DDA in 2019. Caleb had contacted them in January of this year, and they said, oh yes, we created this plan for bank stabilization in Children's Park in 2019. They said, probably nothing happened because, 2020 came along and we all got a little bit sidetracked with that. So there is a plan for plantings in Children's Park. If you go down and look at the bank down there, it's significant. And it's getting very close, as Rosemary knows, to the gazebo. If the bank continues to erode. Rosemary, did you want to say anything?
No, other than that, I said I want to leave. This has been something, sorry. Rosemary Ford, I'm the chairperson for the Village Parks and Rec Advisory Committee. Try saying that a number of times. Anyways, I spoke with her because this is something we've had on our books for a long time, except the cost has been prohibitive, and it does take some monies. And so when Elena called, and with Caleb's background, he was willing to look into this, and then he, as she mentioned, contacted Eagle. So this gives me hope, and I would like to present it to Parks and Rec as far as, she said they're going to need people for plantings, and I think our group would be willing to do that, as well as getting volunteers. So this is something very much needed. If you go in Meeks Park, there is a section that you can clearly see that it's eroded and ready to wash away, and it needs to be addressed sooner than later, and we've been looking at this for years. So this is giving me, and I think will give our group hope, as I said, because it's been on our agenda for a long time. So I think our group would be more than willing to move forward with it. Thank you.
Madam Chair, there's a SEMCOG grant, I think that's available right now for this type of stuff.
Did you hear that?
We should look into.
Some kind
I'm not on their board anymore, but I'm on the executive committee, but I'm not an officer, but there's a specific grant right now that's open for this type of stuff, so I can help. And also, was there more than one page to his report? I was really intrigued by what he wrote, but it looks like it gets cut off.
Yeah.
Just one front back?
There was, I'm sure. I'll email it out. There's also a very long Eagle document that goes with it that I didn't copy.
The township also pledged some community development block grant dollars, and we used some of that, I think, for this. And for some reason, I don't think it was eligible this year for this project, but we can try again next year.
What was it called again?
CDBG, Community Development Block Grant Dollars, and most
Oh, yeah. Okay.
communities in America get some portion, they're federal dollars. And the rules change from year to year, but one year we were able to contribute our CDBG dollars for the bank stabilization. I think some work was done, and this is a few years ago.
Wasn't that for I think you helped with the Washington Street Bridge, when we had that done, because the state said that in order for the bank stabilization to be done, we had to have that bridge redone to make it.
You would know better than me, Ms. Ford. But yeah, I know we did, I think it was like
Yeah.
25,000 or something,
Which
but
helped us, yeah, because they said we can't move anything forward until that was done. So that is done. So,
but I will try to find the information on the SEMCOG grant, but it's, yeah.
Thank you.
So motion to
Receive and file.
file?
Just receive and file.
Receive and file.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, now we are moving on to item number 9, reports, resolutions, and recommendations, A, report Main Street committees.
Madam Chair, we're very excited to report that we had an all-committee meeting on August 4th, I think it was August 4th, that was really, really well organized and well attended. Out of that, our committees, Ms. Campbell's organization committee always had a good attendance, but so far the other committees have been re-energized and boosted. And there's a lot of positive support for that, which is great. The even better news is in your packet is you helped us buy a little gadget about 6 months ago for a couple $100 called Plod that records everything, and then Ms. Woodrum's able to translate it into minutes. So those meetings just happened over the last couple of weeks. There's already minutes in tonight's agenda packet to be reviewed of the activity, of the progress of the attendance. So I wanted you to get that in your packet. I would encourage you to take a look at the minutes, but mostly be very grateful that from a Main Street perspective, if this new trend continues, this is a really, really excellent sign for us as an organization. So motion will be to receive and file. If you have any questions about minutes or anything like that, then you can direct them now to Tracy, but feel free to email her and with the progress that's being made. It's really quite a nice bump in how we're keeping ourselves organized. So that's what this agenda item is to tell you we're killing it on our committees all of a sudden, which is what we want.
Awesome.
It will just be a motion to receive and file the minutes so they
moved.
become an official record.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number B, Executive Director's Report.
Madam Chair, I think you get a sense of lots is happening. I do have a simple report in the file. Mr. Admonson directed on the dissolution process. There's been a significant amount of time activity in my office. I can't imagine in other offices like the supervisors and others. We'll see how all that plays out. Some of the things downtown which are good. We've been in a much more cooperative working relationship with the DPW. So Sam, who's running it, is much more proactively engaged with us and us with him. So they've been painting some of the light poles. Tracy's worked closely with them on making sure there's no dead fish in the creek because we have so much activity downtown. Stephen and I hung, I don't know if you've noticed by your business, Madam Chair, but the banners are all up now. We did put the rest of the banners up, which you think is a small thing, but it's a nice thing that we now are kind of completing ourselves. So a lot of that activity's gone by. We have spent a lot of time on some of our applications and our nominations for our award process, which is great. The four-wheeler broke again. We will send a thank you to Rob Kavanaugh. Make sure that he gets adequate thanks for that. So thanks to Lloyd. Lloyd tracked him down. Thanks, Lloyd. Rob came, took our little credit card and ran up to the AutoZone and figured out that the battery was cracked in one spot that I couldn't find, and he replaced some of the wiring, and now it works good as new until God knows when. But you all approved a piece of equipment for watering, not to exceed, I think, $4,200 or $3,800, something like that. We haven't bought that. We don't really have an intention right now to do that because we're managing with what we have. But seasonal things are looming. So I've started to work, Janet's been helping out, and you'll see in September, all of our seasonal things are going to start to come before you. We have to make decisions on Christmas lights. It's an expense. Those that think that lights just happen, they're a $10,000 or $12,000 expense to the organization. Snow, likewise, both contracts last year, we put those on a potential for mutual renewal. Both small groups want to. So Tim Hawkswell, who does a lot of the snow in town, did a great job for us. If it wouldn't have snowed every day, that would have been the cheapest way to do it. It ends up being the cheapest anyway, but it just snowed, as you know, every day. So Tim is willing to jump back in on that, maintain his pricing. The boys, Ricky and those crew that did the sidewalks around our parking lots and all of that, they're willing to come back in as well. And so all of that will be there in September. So I'm working on getting all of that contract work done. I will be posing a question to the board as to whether we want to approach Jeff Schmitz and reactivate the empty lot that he's not developing yet back into parking, so that we would take over and making sure that the weeds and the cleanliness of the lot are a little bit better, and that when we put cars there, Mr. Coe sent me a nice message that when they used it for some ancillary events, it worked out really nice. It's a shame it just sits there. Jeff is not in a position that he's ready to build on that site now, probably for another year or two. And so it'd be a shame not to try to use it, but there's a cost there. So I've been working on that. I'll work that up to get that back to you. It's just busy. My work, because we're not, at this point, we're saving the money. We're not engaging outside marketing, and we're not hiring a marketing professional because of all the discussion we just had. So I'm creating all of the ad work that's going in the review. Everybody seems to think they're good, and we're getting a good response from that. The Orion Living Magazine ad, completely produced with the township that we do every time. Our ad work with the Orion Neighborhood Magazine, Tanya Carson's publication, is continuing. We have budgeted all of that. So those are the things that we say why people should come and spend money at Ed's Broadway Gift, or buy an ice cream cone, or get their back fixed, or buy a new floor, or visit the art center, or get new countertops, or support the supervisor at Camp Agawam. That's how we bring all our people here, as we communicate with them. So I've been working on all of that. I told Tracy by next meeting that I would like her to start getting into the habit of reporting on the metrics around our promotional event and the back haul that we've talked about in the past. So you'll see that in September. You'll start to see our agenda build out a little bit. Her reporting will be a little different than you were used to last year, where it was just a recitation of numbers. It's going to be more of a purposeful driven, how we're trying to drive certain aspects of that work. So we're working on all of that, and you already heard about the website, and we're still trying to clean up all the office stuff from the storage. And I guess the last thing I would say is on the event scale. You know, having events in our town is important, and we seem to be kind of back post-COVID to being a cool town again. We were always cool, but we seem to be busy, and you can kind of feel it, particularly in the evenings. The little clicker thing is great. So 20 Front Street has brought great talent. I mean, it's been great concerts, but even better, last year, Wine Social very rarely had people out on the patio during our concerts. It was Wednesday nights. I don't know what it was. This year, it's all full. Michigan by the Bottle's been getting involved. The Legion's been getting involved. Others are taking notice that it's actually a pretty good crowd. So we're getting 400 to 500 people at those concerts. The concert tomorrow is a gal, her group is the Bells. She records with Dolly Parton. 20 Front Street has gotten more than 100 inquiries as to when is the concert date, so we're expecting a huge crowd. It's supposed to be like 72 and beautiful out. So it's working. The first movie night last Friday, we had over 200 people come to a movie night in the park. All of that makes I'm saying this more for the public, a significant impact on the people that want to be in our community. You can kind of feel the people that just like it and want to be there. I'm amazed at how many people not from Lake Orion are coming to our community for the things we're doing as a DDA. And so I know it's tough times. Our supervisor very appropriately points it out that the public is feeling a pinch. So the DDA with small dollars is doing a really significant amount on driving as much traffic to our community as we can. And we're hitting busy season. So Dragon on the Lake is coming up in about 10 days. The Art Center has shrunk.
28, 29, and 30.
28, 29, and 30. We're helping them out. So you see there's a big banner at the lumberyard. I'm going to go out and fix their banners that are kind of crooked a little bit out by AutoZone and other ways. We as a DDA want to help and support that as much as possible, because the more people that walk past Lloyd's store at that fair, the art fair that happens there, the more people will come back and buy things at Halloween, right? So everything kind of spills on itself. So we bought the big banner. Oh boy, it cost us $134 to put up a giant banner to promote that. So
It looks fabulous.
it looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, so we're real prideful of that. So here's the ask of all of you. The Art Center, once again, hasn't had a big rush to dragon boats. If you haven't been in a dragon boat, you should. It's one of the more fun things you'll do. And it's not as easy as you think, but it is very exhilarating. And no, you won't pull muscles, but you'll feel like it for a minute. The DDA has re-upped its joint sponsorship of a boat with Oxford. And we also, because the Illuminators really wanted it, have also told the Art Center the Illuminators will be doing a boat. We would like to leverage on you and others that we know to pay the cost of the boats so that the participants don't have to pay the cost of the boats, that they can just simply come to our town and enjoy it or be here and enjoy it. So I have already sponsored $200 towards a boat. I understand Bildum's Custom Flooring has sponsored $200 towards a boat. And Cookies and Cream, or maybe Sprout Bake, one of her fabulous companies, has sponsored $200. So you don't have to do it right now, but I would challenge any others on our board. One of the things of Main Street that we do drop a little bit is there's this little financial piece. There's one piece that says you shall give of your time, but as a board member, you shall also give of your financial resources to support your town. This would be a really easy way for you to sponsor having really cool people, because we can get younger people too on the Illuminators boat particularly, to come and just enjoy our town. And what a great way to give back. So I would encourage you to at least match what I did. Charter Course Legal PC law firm isn't even in business right now, but they sure sponsored $200 this afternoon. So I would encourage all of you, if you can't or don't, it won't hurt our feelings, but that means you got to refer somebody else. If you want to do more than $200, God love you. We need to raise $1,800, which is not a lot of money for who we are as a community. So, so Hank's in, Sam's in. So we'll get out. Tracy will find you. She is the most bulldog person in this that I've met in a long time. So we'll get after you. So that's my report. I can take any questions. Lumberyard is, here's the quick update on Lumberyard. We're fine. I can't finish the budget because every time I attempt to say, is this our final site plan for PUD, then a different consultant tells me something different than they told me before. Isn't the end of the world. It's kind of why it's hard to do these projects in Lake Orion, Michigan, not in the township, but here in the village. As I've said all along, we're kind of being treated as if we're the Jonah Company and not that we're a public authority body under the village of Lake Orion building half the site as parking and community benefit. It's more like we're building low-mod apartments the way everything's being reviewed. So it's fine. Our plan is pretty finite. Triple R has us to the point where DTE can turn on power. I'm going through all of our quoting for all of our lighting fixturing packages. All of that's going to get done. It's most likely I'll have to call a special meeting because I don't want it to wait until September 15th. But there's a possibility we don't get the numbers in. Michigan is not kind right now to builders, as you and the trades know. It's very difficult right now. But we're fine. From a forecasted budget standpoint, I'm now convinced more than ever. I've seen the final plans. I've run numbers. We can build everything we need to build. The 4 commercial sites, as we've always said, it's the change in the deal flow for those sites. I will say, Madam Chair, and I've talked about it, depending on the question of disincorporation of the charter of the village will be whether in September, like if the chief is right and it's not on the ballot, then we will continue on our current path. If it is going to be on the ballot, you will see me be proactively protective that we will reclassify those 4 spots as outlot buildable pad sites. And we will monetize that in a way that we think like a developer and we act like a developer. We haven't done that to this point because if we don't do that, we can control the diversification of our downtown, which we desperately need. We have a few too many stale, non-foot traffic businesses downtown. Lumberyard's fine. On the website, I uploaded all the final plans. I've uploaded all the final updated photos. I've uploaded all of the things. So if anybody in the public wants to see the final PUD plan, if they want to see any of the report, any of that stuff, it's all on the Lumberyard page on the website. And so Lumberyard's fine. We're just in this continual holding pattern. I got asked today that the township engineer needs a construction cost estimate, even though we've been very clear we're bypassing local engineering to get all of our stormwater permitting from MDOT. MDOT's already approved the preliminary permit structure on that, so we can use the spillway. There should be very little review from the township, and the consulting engineer through the planner has said we need to submit a renewed plan set with a cost, construction cost forecast, and 1% of construction cost as an escrow fee. I thought we already went through all this. So some people can do this work, some people won't do this work. I'm trying to figure out which ones I'm working with. But Lumberyard's fine. The portal, all that stuff is good. We're going to be getting after all that. So anyway, long-winded report. That's my report for the night.
Yeah, motion to receive and file?
Support.
All in favor?
Can I have one question? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Is there an update on the bakery?
Yeah, I've talked to Mario's attorney a couple of times. Mario's still in. He's told me personally he's still in. His store that he's building in Clinton Township is continually delayed. He's way, way behind on that. So he's like, I'm in no rush, Matt, whenever you're ready. And so I'm building that package to go to his attorney finally after all these months, because we have final plan now to know what our build out is. So
Have we approved a lease though, or a price or anything?
No, only,
That's gonna come to, that'll come to this board, right?
he'll all come to your board. Yeah, all come here. Yeah, nothing's gonna even go out before it comes to the board here.
Just my 2 cents, and we just need something to happen there besides the park. I mean, so, even, I heard the same thing, he's happy with the delays, but, because it helps him, but, it sure be nice to start getting the money coming this way, so we can, so I don't know, that building is, it's done, we're ready to have someone go in there and build it out, right?
Well, we could if it's not the bakery, because they need a small addition on the back for their cooler system. For the public, it's not a bakery where they bake things, it's a bakery where they bake them at their main bakery and then bring it there, and it's open every day. But so they need a pretty good cooler system. It doesn't fit. So we tried to start it, Mr. Barnett. Gosh, it's been about a year now. We tried to start it, and then we're told, no, you can't do it until you have final site plan. And,
All right.
so that's where, but anyway, still there.
One more, I guess, so PA, we made the final payment for the, so do we have a date in front of the Village Planning Commission?
I was over today, we asked when we submitted if we could get special meeting in August. Kind of a combination of the timing of our submittal when we finally got the plan. So it's supposed to be on for September 8th at Planning Commission. Summer from McKenna today told me that her firm is still on target to have us done by October. But I haven't gotten any review letters or anything. I did get a comment today from the fire marshal, which was a very appropriate comment about some notes that he needs on the plan. And so I'll get that updated.
Please engage me if you need to, please.
Yeah.
Thanks.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number C, special meetings, subcommittees.
So, Madam Chair, this is just an update. I don't think we need to schedule it. We've already done some of it. One of them was the staffing situation, so we need to work on that. I will be asking the executive committee probably to get together in the next couple of weeks on the lumberyard. So, as an example, I guess this is more lumberyard report. So DC Structures, if you recall, We went with them to do a prefabricated structure for us. 2 years ago, the construction costs made that very, very smart. Now the construction costs make that very, very equal. But it's still cool. We've still preliminary paid for some of that. But we need to really get into the hard budget numbers and make a decision on, do we want to stick with that, or do we want to offer a site to somebody to build their own project out of? So this is necessitated by Mr. Barnett's comments that the importance in the atmosphere of who we are as a community, tax-wise, and the way we administer and our transparency. We need to be smart about what we're doing on behalf of the public. And so that's all kind of coming into play right now. The fire suppression is good, but there's little nuances. Like, nobody in this town can do knows the flow measuring of any of the water piping up and down M24. That goes into a broader question of village and everything else. So we need to get that done. There's all these little things that are adding to cost. And so I'd like to, instead of me flying solo, I'd like to get a little bit more of our group together so that we can kind of go through, because I have the budget pretty much done at this point as to where I think things are going to land. But it's also going to be, we'll make this work. I mean, as a weird example, there's a jazz cafe being rebuilt in the city of Detroit that they just published this beautiful article in Cranes, $2.2 million to restore a 3,600 square foot old jazz cafe. And I'm like, we have like right at $2 million left in our bank account. We haven't built much. So, you know, it's tight, but it's good. I need you guys to really engage with that so we can make some decisions on, do we keep this path, do we go this path, what's going to be the best viability for us. The Wilson grant, we need to get together on what we're going to do about the Wilson grant. I can certainly work with Tracy. We can come up with a bunch of things. But this is $20,000 that could springboard into further grant opportunities through the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation for our community. It needs to have a broader focus than just us talking real briefly and me passing along ideas. So I'm going to reach out to the board and our committees. We should probably form a small little quick working group that would focus really on what is it, how do we really benefit from it, spend the $20,000 smartly. I just don't think those should be my decisions. They should be our decisions as a Main Street program. The last thing is the Great America Main Street process. We're still in the process of waiting and hearing about how that's all going to go. Regardless of which way that goes, there's going to be a need really to continue to focus on those types of principles for us to be in a position of greater readiness as we go forward. And so that's that short little memo at the end. This is really going to be my catch-all of we've got a lot to do, but we're generating a lot. Like, you know, these grants that we're we more than $30,000 of grant money that's coming in right now. We haven't dedicated it anywhere. It's just here. You guys are doing so well here. And we have to do that purposefully. It can't be, you know, and the public can't have the impression of, oh, they got a big grant and they spent it on concerts in the park. We need to do it very purposely. So I wanted to say that publicly to you and for the public that this has to be a team effort. And so the last thing I'll say for my report is, for any of this is, we do have information about how to be part of us. And it's the constant frustration I always have that we get these naysayers like crazy and then nobody comes and actually works with us. But if you want to, members of the public, if you want to, it's real easy. Just go to our website or call us. And there's all, if you want to help with the grants, we would welcome you. Come, join us. But that's that last part. I don't think you really need any motion at this point. It's more of an update of what we're going to do. I think I'm done talking. I think 8:30.
Moving on to item number 10, board comments and training feedback. Mr. Barnett.
I sent an email to Matt, Tracy, Debbie, and copied Elena on the SEMCOG Green Infrastructure Grant. They extended the deadline through September 18th. Awards are for $50,000 to $300,000. And it's exactly, it flew broader. I mean, wetland and habitat restoration, shoreline, nature-based solutions is exactly what we need to do. So
Cool.
I can help with that. I don't think that, and they'll help too. If they find a good project, they'll figure out a way to fund it. So pretty straightforward, but check that out. Yeah, I don't have a lot. I think, you know, we're at a weird time, and people don't trust us. It's really frustrating when you devote your life to something, but they don't. And it's not just in Orion, but we had a lot of people say, you know, the reason they voted no on our police and fire millages, which again, first time since 1960 that our operational millages failed. And to be clear, $0 are coming in for police and fire from now until, unless we get a millage or create a special assessment district. So there's no other funding source. There's no white, you know, there's nothing coming from Lansing or DC. So it's not meant to fearmonger, but people are using the lumberyard project as the reason they voted no, the DDA capture, which we tried to educate. You know, if you don't live in the DDA or the CIA, which is over 90% of our community, 100% of your taxes go to the police, fire departments. And then if you're in the village, you're not even subject to the police millage that was on the ballot 2 weeks ago because they have their own police millage. So, you know, it makes us a little nervous, but it makes us have to sharpen what we do and understand that we have to tell the story. It's just unfortunate that the stuff that happens at the national level, you know, it's trickling down to the local level where people just don't trust us. And it's really hard when we all live here, want the same great things for our community, provide great services. It's way more cost effective than any of our neighbors. None of that matters. People just are in a no mentality. So my comments tonight were meant to be critical of the work we're doing, but just to keep us sharp because, I mean, people don't support what we're doing in large part. We thought they did, but they answered loud and clear 2 weeks ago. So we're hopeful they'll have a different, you know, outcome in November, but that's my comments. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Garris?
I've got a lot to say other than Matt and Tracy. I mean, just being down here on a daily basis, I mean, you know, it is disgusting to read this. It is disgusting for me to, as an employer, to even think about somebody being short paid. It actually really pisses me off. And it needs to be corrected quickly. I think it's BS, quite honestly. The work that you guys do here, I watch it daily. It's unbelievable. And I mean, I don't even know how to thank either one of you other than just stay in the fight. And it's very noticeable to us that literally live down here and work. I don't live here, but I work down here. Basically, I live down here. And we will win. That's how it works. If we're putting our best foot forward and doing what you guys are doing, it will always, always, always rise to the top. So stay in the fight. You got a great board here. We're behind you. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go with the next big event coming into Lake Orion, which is Dragon on the Lake. It starts Friday night. The beer tent opens at 5:30. We have a DJ and then a band. And then Saturday night, we've got 2 bands starting at 5:30 and going to 11. We've got the boats, which we talked about earlier today. And we've got the downtown shopping happening. The planning looks really good. Looks like a good event. I need you all to pray for good weather.
Dr. Sam?
Yeah, definitely stay in the fight. We appreciate your guys' efforts and works. I don't see daily because I don't show up daily, but I'm downtown daily, and I see how cool downtown really is. The flowers are still surviving. Things are looking great. You know, things are happening in the right direction. I was going to sign up to be in the boat race, but I realized that I'm celebrating my birthday that day, and I'd probably get divorced if I didn't show up for my birthday party that my family's having for me, so I can't do that. I was excited to be a first-time boat racer, but I'll donate.
You can bring family to that too, you know.
They would love that. But yeah, I'm just grateful to be on this board, looking forward to this lumberyard project continue to evolve and get better and better, and grateful for our board that we're all supportive and looking forward to great things to come.
I just want to make a plug for our amazing illuminators. I have my shirt on, I have my special earrings on. We have an amazing group of volunteers in our illuminators who really care about our downtown and really love our downtown. And it's very evident by how many showed up at the August 4th all-committee meeting. And we now have so many members on our committee, there aren't enough chairs in the conference room for all of the committee members that want to be part of our amazing downtown. And I think that's the thing that we obviously all want to focus on and are focused on, is how incredible our downtown is. There is an ice cream social for our illuminators on Friday night, the first night of Dragon on the Lake, August 28th, from 5 to 7 p.m. at Cookies and Cream. So I want to invite all of our illuminators and anyone who wants to be an illuminator. We would welcome you with open arms. Free t-shirt. Come join us on August 28th, 5 to 7 p.m. at Cookies and Cream.
I just want to remind everyone that we're going to have our 12th annual zombie walk this year. It's probably going to be the last one, but we'll see. So it's September 17th. It's always the third Saturday in September. You meet at Ed's Broadway Gift and Costume at 8 o'clock, and you either come looking like a zombie or we have a makeup artist there that'll help you out. And the event we started a long time ago to help raise money for the Christmas parade. So over the 11 years, we've raised several $1,000s that have all been given to the parade group. So that's what it's for, and it's a lot of fun. It's basically a pub crawl and a poker run. We go to several bars in the downtown area, and then we end up at the American Legion at the end of the night. So again, it's the third Saturday in September. It's a lot of fun if you've never done it before. Thank you.
I just want to tell our board and our executive director and Tracy, I apologize, I don't even know what your title is at this point, but continue to be bold and to be strong, because somebody upstairs is with us. And we have an amazing community. We are accomplishing great things. And, you know, I believe that iron sharpens iron, and that no matter what we currently may be, the hurdles we may be facing, we are striving to serve with excellence and to be completely transparent. And nobody said that when you accomplish great things that it would be easy. But what we're learning is that despite the challenges, there is still a strategic plan that we are in pursuit of. And that plan doesn't change because we may be experiencing some tough times. What it does prove is that we have made a commitment, not kind of like what some people consider a commitment, one day they're in, one day they're out, but we have made a commitment to work together and to be in pursuit of that strategic plan. And so we're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. You know, we may learn a lot, and maybe some days may be tougher than the others, but what we're accomplishing for this community is powerful, because it's going to be present for generations. And so I just want to encourage everybody, you're still all welcome. We still want to partner with you. We still want to work together, because we are accomplishing great things. And I think it's evident when you see people who are still shopping. It's evident when you look at Thursday night cornhole. It's evident when cool cars are downtown. It's evident when you still have to stand outside on the sidewalks and wait to get in to be seated in our restaurants. So we've got amazing things happen. So everybody, hang tough. It's going to get better, but we're going to do this together. And so I just want to thank everyone for your commitment, and I really appreciate our partnership. with the township. Greatly appreciate that. Can we have a motion to,
Move to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you.